Good evening, good evening, good evening. We are back, FC25. We are back. And our very own Michael Bublé of clubs. We unthaw him when it's the time for a new cycle. It is Domino. Domino, how the devil are you, good sir?
Oh, mate, I'm sitting here on a Monday night in a tux, back with VPG, back with EA25, like a kid at Christmas April. I'm ready. Are you?
I am, and as you can see, we're dressed for the occasion. Domino did take it a little bit too seriously, if I can say that, but we're here for it. This is how seriously we're taking this season. You know, social media. If you guys pay attention to that, we are here 3 nights a week for the next 7 to 8 weeks. So get used to us. Get used to us. We did warn you. Get used to us. Right, so tonight we have 4 games, and we're trying our best to bring you a whole load of new experiences, new teams, new tournament systems, new leagues, everything. Basically, anything we can shoehorn into this, we're going to try and do it. So stay with us for these next 7 weeks. You might even be on the channel, you just never know. But to kick things off, we've got the UK Premier, which again we're going to be pushing hard this season. It is the best teams from the UK, as the league suggests, and that's going to be SAF Prolific versus Vinculum. So a huge game to kick off the start of that season. And Vinculum, if anyone remembers or anyone watches our channel really. They were in League One with our team all but what, 2 maybe 3 seasons ago. So then they're now at the pinnacle, Domino, and what a jump it is for those boys, and what a baptism of fire that is, eh?
8-Ball is a Cinderella story, and during our league it was a Cinderella story. They gripped the hearts of the nations, 8-Ball, and now they're here knocking around with the big boys. Let's see if they can compete. Yeah,
and big boys indeed. Moving on to the game at 8:30 is Mighty Lionz versus Little Engine. So again, 2 brand new teams for us, Domino, which again, from a strictly selfish point of view, is really exciting for us. Mighty Lionz in League 3 playing Little Engine in Elite League, which is the one below Esports Premier, which is coming up after that. So there is a bit of a chasm there. So again, it's almost a bit of a David and Goliath, which for a cup tie just sets us up so nicely.
Yeah, mate, and like I said, the game's a good game as well. On paper, it looks like a washout, but as we tell you this all the time, these games aren't played on paper, 8-Ball.
Exactamundo. And to finish that off, we have Fenerbache against Famalicao and FG versus One Mind. So 2 absolutely huge games. Like that, the sheer size of those games for the first day of the season is insane, and we have got you live with those straight off the bat. So I'm not sure what more you could ask for at this stage, Domino.
8-Ball.
Go on.
It's like the tournament organisers done this on purpose for the first games of the season. They're like, how can we attract more people to the channel? I tell you what, let's just put the heavy hitters on. Mate, I think it's been scripted. You know, that's just a professional opinion here.
Yeah.
Because look at the teams we've got on show tonight.
We know they wouldn't script anything. So tonight is brought to you by 8-Ball and Domino, Pro Clubs Weekly. If you don't know about us, search us on YouTube. Go and subscribe to us over there. And the action we are bringing you tonight is all things VPG. And we're going with the top end of VPG. It's the UK Premier, the Esports Premier, and everything in between. So do stick around. We'll be with you guys till about 10:30 tonight, as we will be on Tuesday, as we will be on Thursday as well. So yeah, get subscribed to this channel, because this is where we're going to be 3 nights a week from now on. Right, so that's housekeeping done. One more bit of housekeeping actually is the team sheets for the first game. You can see there is the UK Premier SAF Prolific versus Vinculum. I'll move my lovely face out of the way so you can complete that lineup for SAF Prolific, which I do believe is probably a very, very good place to start, Domino, because Sentinel and SJ Clay up top. I mean, UK Premier fans, are you going to find a better strike force than that this season?
And I might just have to hold you off there, 8-Ball, because I know invites have been sent and we have lobbied up and we are getting into the game now, my friend.
See, that surprises me because mine is not saying that.
Right, okay, great stuff. Yeah, well, on the stream right now, SAF has just sent the invite, Vinculum have accepted, and it looks like we are about to kick off 8-Ball.
Cool. Well, I appreciate the heads up. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, there are the team sheets for the 5-10 seconds we did get to see them. So straight into game number 1. Here we go.
I tell you, Vinculum haven't gone through a rebuild, but they have built around the core players that we
yeah, fair play. Do you know what? They've got a lot of players who were playing in League One, 2-3 seasons ago. So fair play to them. Again, like we said, this is going to be a huge test. Here we go. Vinculum in the black, and SAF from left to right in the white, kicking us off. Here we go. Some familiar faces as well. PXXP, Pooley, McGabe. Yeah, some really, really good players here. It's going to be an interesting one. And they're deciding to keep the ball early on as they put it out for a corner early on as well. SAF with the chance for some early pressure. Let me drop this down. No, it's on auto already. There we go. Knocked down. Harefield near post. Big save by Toasty. And again, we're talking about the strike force for SAF. Goalkeeping. Toasty is up there with the very best around.
Absolutely, mate.
A good little knockdown as well. We know they're overpowered. Back sticks again. Looking for the knockdown again. Sentinel picks it up. It is top bins. It is straight off the bat. Crazy start to this game. It's SAF Prolific 1, Vinculum 0. UK Premier off with a absolute banger.
And that's what we love to see, 8-Ball. Out here, nice early goals. And it's really, really exciting stuff, mate.
SAF win it high up as well. Here is Kirby on the edge of the box. Gives it to Coldwell. SJ Clay dancing his way through. And again, dancing his way through. And it's hammered home. It's 2-0 early doors. And can they stop this absolute onslaught song from SAF Prolific? They've barely made it out of their own half yet. And if they do get out here, no. There we go. They go long to get it out of danger. And there's trouble. There's trouble brewing, Domino. If they can get a goal back here, get themselves back into it, and that's exactly what they do. That is exactly what they do. We've picked a good game to start us off here, Domino. Blistering pace. Blistering pace. And we were just saying they needed a goal there, Domino. They absolutely needed that just to kind of get their heads above water a little bit. That's exactly what's happened here.
It's hard, 8-Ball. I mean, SAF had all the possession, all the chances, were dominating the game early on, and they got the just rewards. They went 2-0 up. It must have been a dark place, those Vinculum lads there. Their heads might have dropped, but when you're at this level, you can't afford that. And they've just shown resilience there, got themselves back on the team sheet, let SAF know they can hurt them, and 8-Ball, we've got a game on our hands. Yeah,
and lesser teams would have capitulated in that, 7-0 down, 7-0 down, 2-0 down, 7 minutes in. They're not 7-0 down, I can confirm. But lesser teams would have capitulated there, Domino, and I think that's a testament to them. To be honest, I think Vinculum will get a lot of that this season. They're going to have their backs against the wall, newly promoted team, kept a lot of players, like we said, in the build-up to this. It's going to be an interesting season for them, and for that, they're going to be a good team to have on the channel going forward.
Yeah, I mean, they were always an entertaining team. They had a great philosophy of play.
Yeah, they do.
It looks like they haven't lost that. They do like to get the ball front to back very quickly. They're not a team that's very dominant possession heavy. They're a team that do like to strike while the iron's hot, and as soon as they've got the ball, they are going long, they're trying to hurt you. It's not that real kick and rush style of play football, It's just that quick counter-attacking football.
Yeah, I agree. It's direct, and do you know what? It's actually...
Yes.
It's not keeping possession for keeping possession's sake. I mean, like now, they're having to keep possession because that press from SAF Prolific is so it's so lively, it's so energetic. But they've got players like this man, Remo and Pooley, Runel. They've got the players to do it, and it's a massive step up for them. But to be fair, Domino, they're holding their own so far, 23 minutes in, and it's looking a lot better than it was 7 minutes in. But they're not 7-0 down.
We can confirm and count.
Well, I could do one of those things. SJ Clay wins it high up. Fraser Kov dinks it into the back, but Laney does well. Finds it to Red Timer. Runel, bit of space to cook. Sweeping pass out to Remo. Cuts inside, gives it to Emo Tyler. We know all about that man. And here he is, put through, but Zeduk comes out. Comes and collects the ball. He's lost his clean sheet, Domino, so he looks like a goalkeeper who's annoyed. There's nothing more annoying as a goalkeeper losing that clean sheet early doors. So he's going to be doing everything in his power to keep a clean sheet from now on. And if he does that, SAF Prolific will pick up all 3 points. A lot of this game left to play and a lot of space for this man. Crimmy on the back stick, but PXXP does really, really well. Goes down the line, finds striker's feet, but Rubber Ducky does well, wins it back for SAF. Who again, Domino, every time they get the ball, they are looking to build to go forward. They're not keeping possession. They're not interested in knocking around the back. They are going for the jugular every time they get the ball. Coldwell into SJ Clay's feet, turns near post. Toasty with a save, but it's pushed back out. Crimmy into the back stick, knocked down. Oh, it had to be a goal from there. It had to be. PXXP.
Masterclass there.
He's basically cleared it off the line.
I'm going to say defending at its absolute scrappiest best. Like, you're rushing around to pick up a man, and when they have... Yeah, it's my favourite kind of defending. It's the only defending I know, April.
I was going to say, we're quite well versed to watching that with our teams of the past, Domino. Crimmy. Pooley does well, coming over from that centre midfield position. Snuffs it out and goes long. No scraps off of Herefield, you very rarely do. But Vinculum have got that goal, Domino, and I think it's going to give them a little bit of belief, and it's what they're going to need if they want to get back into this game.
Yeah, and it does actually stop SAF marching forward with disregard to them.
Yeah.
The problem is, when you've got teams like SAF, they'll get on top of you, and they'll give you absolutely zero respect, and you need to go show them why they have to give you respect. And their goal does that they need to watch their P's and Q's.
Gino Vieira with a good touch, gets it out of his feet, but Laney blocks it. It's 5 minutes until half-time. SAF Prolific will probably argue they deserve that 2-goal lead. They have been on top for a lot of this game, but Vinculum hanging on in there, and they, like you said, Domino, they have earned the respect of their opposition by getting that goal. But here is Diddy on the edge of the box, chips it over to Rubber Ducky, swings it in. Red Timer gets it clear, but only as far as SJ Clay, and what a big save that is by Toasty. Again, we pre-warned you. This man is a demon between the sticks, and he has been called upon a lot in this first 41 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely, April. And to be fair, first 2 goals, there's not much you can do with the strike force and the chance that fell them, but needs to keep his team. Those are the ones that you should be expected to save, but they are still difficult. Yeah,
I mean, SJ Clay, he knows his way around the goal. He couldn't have chucked it up in that top corner any better. But Toasty equal to it. Calder, edge of the box, he's gone for it. He knows he's on VPG YouTube channel. He's gone for the 40-yarder. Pooley keeps possession, and I think they might be trying to see this one through to half-time. Damage limitation is going to come back, but Runel sweeps up nicely. And I think that's going to be it if Herefield wants to get rid of this. Which, of course, he doesn't, just to prove me wrong. But Domino, 2-1, 3 goals in the first, 10, 12 minutes of that game. It was a fast start. It was a very, very fast start for both of these sides, Domino. I don't mind that whatsoever.
No, April, we've commentated now on a lot of first games off a new league. And we say it every time. Nerves get on top of people. It doesn't matter if it's professionally, personally. Nerves get on top of people for the first game. And all we see a lot of the times is conservative play. Instead of let's score the first goal, it's do not concede the first goal. Disregard from both teams. Well, disregard for SAF. SAF was like, we're going for this. We're going to get that first goal. Vinculum had to respond, and they done kindly. It is getting on top of Vinculum. I feel after that goal, they've had to sit back and soak up a lot of pressure. SAF look like they've got a lot of weapons, as you would expect seeing that team sheet. If Vinculum can get that goal, that equalising goal, I think doubt might start creeping into SAF, and that's where they can capitalise. But it's very, very important of the opening 15 minutes of the second half.
No, I think that's spot on, Domino. It's probably hit the nail on the head, but it's also everything that Vinculum know as well. If I'm totally honest, I think if another goal goes in against them now, they're going to tell you it might be lights, you know. I'm going to swap the streams over, and we are going to just put this one on now, which is a little bit further ahead, so I do apologise, but we can confirm we have missed none of the action. So here we go. 52 minutes in. A change of kits with the change of stream, but it is still the same old. It's SAF Prolific on the attack from right to left, and Vinculum have switched over into this nice blue kit. Left to right. Score remains the same, 2-1, so the state of play remains the same, Domino. Vinculum need a goal, and here we go. Ball over the top, Zap comes out, collects it.
Well done,
It was technically a foul by the striker. I'm not too sure about that one. But he does clutch it to his chest rather gratefully, I would say.
Yeah, really good position by the keeper. Needs to come out and win those. Those are the ones that get you caught, 8-ball, in that 50-50.
Here is Yoran, the cameraman for tonight. Emo Tyler picking the ball up where he usually does, which is 2 or 3 yards away from goal. Can't convert it past Zap, and to be honest, Don, I think that's an underrated save because he was so close to the goal. And the scripting of this game, we all know about that.
I tell you what, like I said, it was a very important first 15 minutes here for Vinculum, and they've come out and they've started on the front foot here. They do need to still watch their P's and Q's, but they have started on the front foot, which is great because they know they need that goal.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, I think SAF Prolific know that as well. I don't think they rocked up expecting an easy game by any stretch of the imagination, but Vinculum are very dangerous. He is onside here, Domino. 1-on-1.
No, he's not. Oh,
God, he's gone to the near post, and Zap has held his own. Emo Tyler, you'd put your house on him scoring that 1-on-1. It's still 2-1, but again, it's Vinculum's turn to be knocking on the door, Domino.
Yeah, 8-ball. I have no clue how he was onside. I don't know who was playing him
What a
onside.
run.
It looked like there was chasms between him and the nearest, or the last man there. It was an impressive run, and let's give credit to that keeper there. That's a big moment. That's where you need your keeper to stand up and be counted, and he has done. He's kept his team in front in this game, so big applause there.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about Toasty in the first half. I mean, Zap's been a lot busier in this second half, and he's responsible for SAF being still in the lead as well, if I'm honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yoran's feet to red timer. Hereford steps in, does well, goes long, but SAF are struggling to build up as much as they were in that first half, Domino.
8-ball. I don't know what happened at half time. I don't know what the team talk shifted. Maybe the manager of SAF told the boys, look, let's be a little bit more conservative. We are getting hit on the break here. They're keeping momentum back because they're defending really well, but Vinculum are just enjoying a lot of the ball. Yeah. Which is obviously great for them.
Which usually means SAF Prolific are going to come and score. Someone's left something on someone there, and that might be a bit of frustration from this second half's proceedings, Domino, because that is a Vinculum player on the floor. No red card.
Yellow card, so just a yellow card. So
could have easily been a red though. It was late.
That might be a little bit ahead of you, and he just no pressure kick the ball out.
Yeah, Pooley very uncharacteristically straight out of play, which does invite SAF back onto this Vinculum side. SJ Clay, good feet from him, gives it to Diddy, but Pooley there, the man who gave the ball away in the first instance, making amends with a fantastic last-ditch tackle. And again, this Vinculum side just shifting this defence back 10, 15, 20 yards. Every time they get the ball, it's positive, it's forward play. With the last 15 minutes on the clock slowly ticking by, they've kind of got to do that, even if that wasn't already their playing style, Domino.
Yeah, absolutely, 8-ball. Like, look, the clock is ticking away quickly. You need to get up and you need to get that goal. So I think caution to the wind here. We want to know, once it gets to 15 minutes and you're behind, you have to play caution to the wind. Emergency striker might be needed. Yeah, there's virtual 10 minutes to go now.
Yeah, let's go. Last 10 minutes. We are here for it. It is the VPG UK Premier opening game of the season. It is the very first game. Off to a flyer as well. 3 goals in that first 12 minutes. None since, but not through want of trying.
I was about to say they haven't given anything in the second half, so you know what I mean. I'm not the happiest.
Evo Tyler drops off to Pooley, gets it back from the CDM. Runel gets it all the way through to Red Timer, straight down Zap's throat, and you can see his pro is telling people just to calm down, just to steady the ship a little bit. I think if SAF want to watch back this second half, there may be some holes to pick in this performance, whereas the first half was absolute flames and exactly what we'd expect from this team. But this is the form of champions, Domino. They've gone long to Sentinel, slides it through to SJ Clay, chops it back, and that is game, set, and match. That is what champions do, and they have made it 3-1. It is good night, Irene. Vinculum, everyone apart from SAF Prolific will probably feel sorry for them, but that doesn't get you anything in this game, Domino.
SJ Clayson, what is that? The ball got passed to him. He had 2 men around him, and he's took them for a walk. He's done the little chop inside.
Yeah.
The finish was sweet, and that's why that man gets paid the top dollars, because he will get you a result or get you a goal out of nothing, and that was genuinely nothing. It was a counter attack where the cards were stacked into Vinculum's favour, and he's got the goal. He's got his team the win, and that was an impressive display by both teams at the second half.
And it's what the best players in clubs do, Domino. It's what they're, like you said, it's what they're there to do. It's what they're paid to do. It's a huge 3 points for SAF Prolific, to be fair. It truly is. Was it deserved, Domino? I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah, I think based on the first half, where they did look dominant and it could have been 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
The second half, I do sway towards Vinculum. They had chances to hurt. 2 great saves by the keeper there. And when they got the 1 killer chance, because to be fair, I'm thinking back 8 ball. Can you think of another chance SAF had in that whole second half?
In that second half, absolutely not. Don't get me wrong, they created enough chances in that first half to put themselves ahead. Toasty was in phenomenal form. I think it's definitely one of those games, Domino, that could have gone either way. And like I said on air at the time, I do think people might sympathise with Vinculum on that one. I think they did enough maybe to get a draw in that second half, but that is not how clubs is played, ladies and gentlemen. That is not how it is played. Right, so moving on to game number 2. Team sheets.
Cinderella story here, 8 ball.
Are there for you now. We have got Mighty Lions, League 3, and Little Engine in the Elite League, which is that one below the Esports Premier. Where to start? Let's start with Little Engine, because they've got some players in there that we recognise, part of the community as well. They've got their manager and their talisman, Rude Van Mav, playing as one of the 3 cams. Usually I see him more central, so I imagine he's coming through that centre. And Lawball's up front, who normally plays as a big, tall striker, so it would be interesting to see what build that man has got on. But to be fair, the quality goes straight through this team, straight through the 11. They've got Samu in goal. Jacko's a very tidy player. Matt as well.
Yeah.
What have Little Engine got to do tonight to get past a team 2-3 divisions below them, Domino?
Mate, I genuinely think you've got to put the pressure on the other team by be resolute in defending. You're not going to go out there and outplay them. It's going to take a miracle for you to go out and outplay those people. It's going to be frustrate them so they can't score. They're going to have to try. You're going to have to bring them onto you like a boxer. You're going to have to try and bring them out in the first 2 rounds. You're just going to take it, be the nail in the game, be the nail for half of the game. And when you've got the chance to be the hammer, don't take your chances, because there's going to be limited chances for the team going forward. It's all about taking those chances nice and early, April.
Yeah. And on the flip side, Domino, I'll ask you the same question about Mighty Lionz as well. You know, we've played in games like this before where you are the underdog. You know, no disrespect to Mighty Lionz, we just got to look at the the league system really for it to tell us everything we know. What have they got to do tonight to get anything out of this game?
So again, Mighty Lionz are in a fortunate position where there is no expectations on them. So no expectations on them. I think you go out and play with that kind of confidence. You go out and play with a brash reasoning where when you play the game, it is all guns to the wall, go as hard as you can in. Because like I said, nothing's expected of you. The pressure's off them. They don't have that pressure with the first game of the season. It's all on the other team. Use that to your advantage.
No, I agree. Again, spot on. Couldn't put it better myself. I have just got a message from the manager himself. I'm hoping he's saying that a invite is on the way. He is.
Or maybe he's just saying hi, Abel.
Or, to be fair, I mean, when I'm trying to sort out all the links, all the setup, I do often get quite a lot of messages saying, "Oh hi, by the way this, by the way that." Yeah. Or why haven't you responded to this? So I wonder. Again, you know, we were talking about that little engine team. We'll have a look at the Mighty Lionz team. Again, I just moved my camera out of the way. I'll do it again. No one is jumping out to me personally, Domino, as any player I've come across. But what I will say is this is the time to put your name out there in front of the fans, in front of Pro Clubs Weekly. There's no bigger stage, mate. There is no bigger stage, and yeah, looking forward to this one. So this is the UK Pro Series, for those of you who don't know. So we just had the UK Premier. This is the UK Pro Series, and the top 16 of this UK Pro Series, they will go on to a LAN event in Sheffield. Okay, so
my favourite place.
There is monetary prize for this as well, but also the top 16 qualify for that LAN event. So I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I know Delos is out there somewhere, so he will, I'm sure. Correct me if I am wrong. Two LAN events this year, or next year, but this game cycle. One for the UK and one for the European Masters as well. Which I do believe will be showing on VPG YouTube channel as well. Confirmation that the invite is being sent across once he moves it out of the way. So yeah, get involved in those. I mean, even if you're not a player, get involved in those, because we were there last year. I mean, if that's not all the encouragement you need, then I don't know what further encouragement you do need. But Domino, would you recommend it?
Oh, April, we had the best weekend. Mainly because I never actually get to see you in person anymore, but that was that was up there with one of my favourite weekends. The event itself, meeting some of the players, like the buzz around the area, mate, it was class. I had a great time. From
a purely selfish viewpoint,
I'm about to say that.
Yeah, we did have a very good weekend, and that was down to the event that VPG put on. So fair play to them, and you know, a lot of lessons were learned. Let's put this on there. A lot of lessons were learned. A lot of cobwebs were wiped out. A lot of experience, even from yourself and I. You know, it was the first LAN that we've ever done as well. Yeah. So I expect the next one or two, however many there are, to be bigger and better. And yeah, even if you're not a player, we would implore you to come and just get involved. It's good to put some virtual names to real life faces.
Well, exactly. Well, as I was saying, like some of these boys that we met up with, and they were like, yeah, we've never actually seen these people in real life, as I imagine you wouldn't. So actually seeing the people that you spend arguably more time with than your parents, it's quite important to meet them.
Literally, yeah. Couldn't agree more, mate. Couldn't agree more. And if you are a player of a team that has either entered or hasn't entered, wants to get involved, I know there are multiple qualifying tournaments. So this is the qualifying tournament number 1. Depending on where you finish in that tournament table, gets you X amount of points. It is a bit like those European LAN qualifiers as well, which are held on Mondays. They are once a month. So lots going on virtually and in person as well. So like I said, if you're a team that your manager hasn't signed you up for that, maybe just pose the question. And you might well be watching and playing in the UK Pro Series now, and if you are, good luck and hopefully see you. I think it's scheduled for maybe, when was the last one? July?
Mate, don't put me on the spot with dates and stuff. I don't know what the date is today.
We'll go with July. So yeah, everything to play for as it usually is over here at VPG. If you are new and you don't know what the hell's going on, we will try and guide you through that. A lot of the time we don't know what's going on. We try and stay clued up so you don't have to. But yeah, we'll guide you through that. Yeah, and if you are new, do make sure you have subscribed to this channel, because we are going to be on 3 nights a week for the foreseeable. But for right now, we have got Little Engine versus Mighty Lionz, and is it a false start, Domino? One person's not happy. They're keeping the ball. I think they're just knocking around. This is interesting, Dom. This is interesting.
Do you think the reason for this doing it, as we watched on the last one, is to do the heights early doors?
I'm not sure. I mean, that is the biggest radar I've ever seen. Oh, there it goes. No, I mean, is he still there? We're about to find out, because here comes the ball. It is the Mighty Lionz in blue. Actually, I didn't do my housekeeping from left to right. Both teams just happy to keep the ball while they sort out some kind of kinks that are going on. Is there still a man? No, the man who was not moving is now moving, Domino. I can confirm. We are all systems go. Here we go. And Little Engine really... Do you know what, Domino? I feel like they were just biding their time and waiting for the game to properly start. It took 7 minutes. Unlike the first game, this one took a little bit of time to get into action. But a very, very good effort early doors. And it is Captain Fantastic. Mav with the corner. He's gone short, and that was a cheeky one, Domino. It didn't come off in the end, but you could see what they were trying to do.
Mate, it was too clever for FIFA to register. It was too clever for them to register.
It was. Mav wins it back, though, and he it looks like he is playing wide. Matt dinked over the top. And I was going to say, they keep the ball well, just about here. And I think Mighty Lionz could do with just keeping a bit of possession. They do lose it early doors. Slightly the same as that first game, with Vinculum being penned in. Mighty Lionz are well and truly penned in here, Domino. Ardy swings into the back post. Here is Lawballs near post. Big save by Boris Johnson. He is in the Boris Johnson build as well. Headed away. And what can Mighty Lionz get cooking? They go long. A good ball into space. Here's Rouse. Tries to go inside. 80 does well, but keeps the ball. Dazza. And this is what we said they need, Domo. Just keep that ball a little bit longer. Shake off some of the cobwebs. Shake off some of the nerves. This is what they need to do. McLaughlin at centre back. Goes long. There we go. Lulled them into a false sense of security. The foot race is on. Parker just about gets there. But look how many players Lionz have committed to this. Schneider loses out. Filthy Crunch tries to play it out. Howarth wins it back. And there's a good ebb and flow to this, Domino.
Yeah, like I said, it started obviously very conservatively, and it's going the same at the minute. Not many chances coming to each team, but this is how I expected the last game to start. Teams looking to be composed on the ball and not to give too many chances away, and being conservative when they go at the top. There is an ebb and flow to this game. There's not one team dominating, but it is still very conservative. It will start heating up, I would imagine.
Agreed. Little Engine go long, looking for Mav on that right-hand side. He is going to concede the throw-in. Howarth will restart us. 20 minutes. Domino, it's gone quick, to be fair.
Yeah.
Despite the lack of goals. Throw goes long. Big Ed. Drew steps in, though, for Little Engine. elite division, Little Engine, a newish team, Domino. Brand new identity, but some of the same old knocking around. Interesting to see what they do this season. Headed down to Lawbors. It's taken a wicked deflection. Just goes off for a corner. 25 minutes in. Mav will start us.
On that new corner routine again.
Exactly. Mav will get us restarted with this corner. It is near post. Ooh. And I mean, they got a little bit closer to what they were maybe planning on doing there.
Yep.
But to no avail. And you know, what minute, Domino, as Mighty Lions concede possession there, what minute do Little Engines start to say, right, actually, do you know what, we are favourites here, we do need to start pressing forward a little bit, we do need to start taking more risks, or is it cool as a cucumber, what will be, will be?
Yeah, cool as a cucumber, don't let the other team frustrate you because you're not getting something straight away. I would still carry on playing your game. There's nothing really damaging for the other team. They are getting the majority of the chances. So, yeah, just keep it calm.
He says that as it goes into the back post. AD does well, though. Knocked down nicely. Little Engine looking to cook something here. They do switch over to this left-hand side.
Nice.
Bit of space. Cuts inside, and here we go. Lawbors. Oh, he's put it wide. He'd done the keeper with the eyes. The keeper was going across the goal. He reversed it back, but put too much on it. Massive chance in this first half. Massive first chance in this first half for Little Engine. And Mighty Lions live to fight another day. They have looked a little bit dangerous when they go direct like that.
Yep. Absolutely.
But again, so far to no avail. Right hand side, Peterson swings it in. Dealt with nicely, but it comes immediately back, and again, Boris Johnson has to come out and claim that. I can't keep saying that, Domino. Can't keep saying that. His player does actually have a Boris Johnson lookalike as well. It's crazy.
I like it.
Cut out by Drew's having a good first half. Keeps it nicely on the overlap. Verts into Matt. Again, overlap on this right hand side. Mav's in a bit of space. He does get it to feet. Loses out to Howarth, though, who's been up and down on that left-hand side. Mav leaves something on him here. Are they going to get anything out of it? No, they're not. So we're going to bring it back for a free kick deep in their own half. I'm sure Mighty Lions would just rather concede a possession that far up, Domino.
Yeah, absolutely.
Goes long.
Dance with the ball in.
Dealt with well by Parker. Big Ed tries to look for space on that left-hand side. Peterson's there. Cuts back, keeps the ball nicely. Still 0-0. Anyone's game at the moment. I would say Little Engine have maybe looked like the more likely to score, but it's both clubs. That doesn't mean a single thing. Overlap. Peterson again. Getting a lot of joy over on these wide areas. Beats about 6 men. Edge of the box. Loads of space. Falls to Drew. Good block by Dan Scott, but it's going to fall to another orange-yellow shirt. Drew looking for the striker's feet. Dazza does well, and here we go. Did have a chance for it to be 3v3. Not much cooking though. Stalled on it a little bit. Runs were a bit too central, and Little Engine pick it up and go again.
Yeah, Little Engine are doing well, mate. They're doing all the basics right, and I think that's the difference when you get higher in the leagues. Teams just do the basics better than the other teams.
Yeah,
and that's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, it was always going to be a big ask for this Mighty Lions side, but you know, it's still 0-0. It's anyone's game. It's cup football. Anything can happen. Mara gets it out with the use of his head. Dan Scott takes it down. Good feet from him. Recycles to Mara. Big Ed loses out. Pressing from Little Engine. Smelling blood maybe. Mighty Lions will do well, yeah, to get into half-time at 0-0, and that's exactly what they're going to do, providing they don't give that ball away there, which they don't. They go long, it's going to come back, and there it is. Half-time, 0-0, Domino. Who's going to be the happier of the two managers with that first half?
You've got to go for Lions in that. I mean, any scoreline that's either a draw or a win for Lions at the minute is a favourable scoreline. Little Engine are clearly the favourites in this. They're showing it in the game. If your two managers going at half time, you've got to be Lions manager. Little Engine won't be disappointed. They're not going to be disheartened. they're just going to have to step on the gas a little bit more. But like I said, don't let that frustration sink in. Don't let it get you frustrated. You know you've got the quality, you know you've got the players, you've just got to break them down systematically. And I think they've got the ability to do that. And the only thing I would say for Little Engine is the Lions are defending so well, it just doesn't look like they've got that much going up forward, or they can play through the thirds at the minute. So they don't really have to be that mindful defensively. I say that, and you know what happens in clubs, mate.
Anything to make us look worse than we already do, Domino. That's why we put the suits on. And we won't be dressed like this every week, we promise.
Hey, what?
It's in Domino's contract. Back to some housekeeping. Mighty Lions right to left, and it is Little Engine from left to right. The problem causes at the moment, they do manage to get rid, but Little Engine keep it ticking over, which has been pretty much how this game has gone so far, knocked down by Law Wars. And don't forget, Domino, he had that massive chance in that first half, arguably the best chance of the game so far, put wide. Are they going to live to rue that chance?
Yeah, I just think Lawball is a confidence player, mate. Once he gets the first goal, once he gets that in his veins, mate, he's unstoppable.
Here he is, lays it off to the left-hand side. Drew on the overlap, gets all the way to the byline, goes to the near post. But again, Domino, like you said, Mighty Lions are defending really, really well here. And if they could just offer a little bit more up front. I mean, look, they had the man willing to go over the top there. I don't think the runs have been the problem, Domino. The runs in behind, have been on. It's just the quality of the pass hasn't been on for them just yet. I think if they could get that ticking again, good pass by the goalkeeper there. If they can get that ticking over, I think they'll just earn a little bit more respect from Little Engine. But at the moment, I think they're happy to push men forward and risk it, knowing they haven't created too much going forward yet. Have Mighty Lions, but they've been phenomenal defending. I say that they give the ball away in defence.
Yeah, the defence has been really resilient, April. Not only defending man-to-man, but the positionings of the players, really, really good. Any single ball that goes over the top, there's not a free pass. Everything's been contested in a 50-50, and that's what you want from your team. Following men, and then if you get pulled out of position, your CDM's covering for you. It's been impressive, April.
And that man, Boris Johnson, has been the pinnacle of this defensive performance from Mighty Lions. And do you know what? It may well be their game plan for this evening. Take them into deep waters, keep themselves in the game, and again, it's just that final pass for Mighty Lions. Samu in the Little Engine's goal that had nothing to do. Is the man offside? Yes, he is. I think both of them might have been offside there, Domino.
Yeah, I think both were offside there. It's a really good idea. And to be fair, it was a good ball, just the timing of the run here. Now, 8-ball, when we're getting, again, close to the 70th minute, it's 0-0. You've arguably dominated the game. What do you need here? What do you need here to break the deadlock? What are you saying?
You need that bit of quality, Domino. And to be honest, Little Engine have got the players to do it. Someone just needs to take the game by the scruff of the neck. I think... Here come Mighty Lions, by the way, breaking into the box for the first time. It's headed down. It's Howarth on the left-hand side, back post. He has put Mighty Lions 1-0 up against the run of play completely and utterly. They will not mind one bit. And this is going to force Little Engine to have to turn on the burners here because, like we were saying, they've got the players to do it, but they just have not been able to break down this Mighty Lions defence. And if they turned up with a game plan today and they perfectly executed, Domino, we have got to find out this manager's name and get him some kind of award, because that is going to be a coup if they can see this through, and that's a big if, as Little Engine come pouring forward again. Mav into striker's feet. Howarth, the goal scorer, back there doing his defensive duties. Anywhere will do for Mighty Lions right now. Budget Edgar Davids there gets away without a booking.
I mean, I did actually think he went to clear it. He did not mean to slide tackle that.
Probably it was a bit of an awkward one, wasn't it? And do Little Engine have a free kick specialist? The fact that they have, the fact that they've selected this man leads me to believe they have. But Boris Johnson is in net.
Believe in Boris.
He gets my vote. Big save. Popped it round the Popped it round the post. There's 16 minutes left, Domino. What can they come up with here? Mav swings it in, but picks out McLaughlin's head. How many players have they got left forward here? It doesn't matter. They did leave a few players up there, Domino. Quite clearly, counter-attack is the flavour of the game for these boys. Lawbors does a bit of skill, flip-flaps his way through, then powers his way through. We saw the both sides of Lawbors there. But again, Boris Johnson was equal to it. And here comes Dan Scott bursting down this right-hand side. Here we go. They've got men up as well. Tries to swing it in. They had men committed. Keeps it on, though. We thought it might have been going off, as did most of Little Engine, but 80 does really well. Big Ed, using that Big Ed. Keeps the ball for Mighty Lions, and they are more than happy. Give it back to their talisman, Boris Johnson. He goes long, looking for an assist for himself. Goal here for Mighty Lions, Domino. I can't believe I'm saying this. Would win it for them. Completely and utterly. Do you know what? I was going to say it's a big ask. It shouldn't be a big ask for Little Engine. I think this second half in particular, I think they'll be disappointed. Not just with the fact that they haven't scored, but with their performance as well. Just lacking a little bit in that final third, I think.
Yeah, well, it just goes to show you, like we said at the beginning, none of these games are played on paper.
Oh, God.
And it's been exceptional.
Just as well. It puts us out of a job anyway. I was going to say headed down. I think the correct one there was to head it down. To be honest, though, he might well have just been clearing the ball just to buy more time for this Lions side, who, at the moment, will be marching on in place of Elite League Little Engine.
Mate,
flicked on
imagine
by
that.
Lawbors.
Turn up for the books.
Well, it's the first day of VPG, and that just goes to show you, doesn't it? I don't know what's given here. Phantom free kick. Yeah, it goes.
It's your day. Well, it's your day.
Yeah, they'll take it, and they're in absolutely no rush to take this free kick. And funnily enough, it goes backwards. Boris Johnson goes long. 4 minutes left for Little Engine to do something, to get something out of this game. It is Reusto who is offside, just strayed. And Little Engine restart. 3 minutes left. Matt goes long. Can they take it under a spell? And I tell you what, Dan Scott's had a good game on this right-hand side, but he needs some support here. Edge of the box, acres of space. Matt gives it to Lawbors. Oh, it's Mav. It's the skipper, Mav.
Naming light table.
With less than a minute left.
You're going to fall into a couple. He's in your top three of people that fall into.
Yeah. In the league, not just this team. Wow. I mean, is there enough time on the clock for another chance? Not if Dan Scott has anything to say about it. Oh, that's fantastic feat from Reus. He is in absolutely no rush to chuck that ball in, I tell you that, Domino. He's keeping it in the corner. They're going to get the corner kick from it. I think that is going to be...
Are you allowed to keep it in the corner, 8 ball?
Well, there's a gentleman's rule that perhaps you don't do that, but can you really blame them? Can you really blame them? I mean, here we go. I was going to say they might chuck it in here. It's going to get cleared eventually, but that is going to be game, set, and match, and one for the history books there. Mighty Lions picking up the 1-0 win against Little Engine. I don't think they'll mind me saying it was against the run of play, but that is the nature of the beast, Domino, and the thoughts. It's raw. It's raw right now, Dom. I can see you processing it.
Mate, I'm not going to lie to you. There's good friends of ours on the Little Engine team. They're a good bunch of people. And look, I backed them to go into winner. I thought these games are difficult because, you've got underdog teams that wouldn't have come up against each other. Like, when we're naming players, we don't know much of the Lions players because, again, dealing with likes of esports, Prem, and like the Premier divisions. So you don't know what quality you've got here. The best thing I can say about the Lions is if you didn't know that these two were in the same league, you watched this game, you thought they were. Like, splitting them, you knew Little Engines probably had the better mechanics, the better technicians in the team. But from a defensive point of view, Lions were nothing but superb that game. Yeah, and
do you know what? I think defensively, I think you'll struggle to find a better defensive performance I don't want to say this season because it's very, very
I'm
early.
going to go this season, April. I'm going to go
very,
this season.
very early. And again, I do have a message from Little Lionz, which I can share with you all. Disgusted that they've never heard of them. Do you know what? The next thing I was going to say is there's absolutely no slight that we haven't heard of one of the 800 teams in VPG. We do apologise. We are still less than 2 years old, so we are still working our way around the houses. But we've certainly heard of you now, so...
Best believe we're never forgetting you now.
Yeah, until next time. Yeah, we've got big brain capacity, big brain memories for strictly club stuff. Anything else is a no. But when it comes to clubs, we should be absolutely fine in remembering these teams and these performances. Right, moving swiftly on, it is just the small case whilst I go and find out what's happening in this next stream. And tell you what, let's take us back to... I'm on an advert there, so that's not very helpful. Let's take us back to this screen because we do have team sheets. And it tells us who's playing next as well, which is also super, super helpful. And it is massive, two massive teams, even bigger than Mighty Lionz, Domino. Fenerbahce against Famalicao. And for those of you who don't know, for those of you who don't keep up to date with all things clubs, Famalicao are joined forces with Poise. They now have a super team, so you just got to deal with that. If you're anyone else other than those two teams, anyone else in the league, just got to deal with it. We are moving over to the final two games of this evening, which are both Esports Premier. For those of you who don't know, Esports Premier are the elite of Europe, the best 26 teams in Europe, I do believe it is. The prizes, the cash prizes are unreal. The players, the teams are unreal. And these are two heavy hitters straight out the blocks, Domino.
Yeah, I mean, Fenerbahce, their team is very, very well gelled. They've been together a while, and they always come out and compete. Like, they are no easy game, even for the best team in the land. But Famalicao, mate, we've seen them on countless occasions. We've seen them at the LAN event. You saw them last week, mate, when they were playing to get into the LAN spots.
Yep.
They're just an unbelievable team. Like, there's again, I can't take the superlatives to tell about them. They're just ridiculous. If you're joining this stream now and you haven't seen any sort of clubs, Famalicao, Poise, they're their team to watch.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Don't forget though, Fenerbahce are season 10 champs. So
they are, yep.
They've actually won the league. What's the best way of phrasing this? They last won the league sooner than Poise / Fama. So technically, we're saying Poise are maybe the team to watch, or Famalicao are the team to watch. Fenerbahce did win the league all but
You're not wrong.
2 seasons ago. So I'll let you have a quick little look at their strike force because you don't want to miss. In particular, Epan up front, but players to note as well, their left and right midfield. Fenerbahce, who I do believe made it into our Pro Clubs Weekly team of the season. Him and Luke, 44. Just two, I'm always banging on about the full-backs, the wide midfielders, because they do such a good job without having the spotlight thrust upon them so much. But players like Fenerbahce, players like Jacko LFC, they're very, very good players, but they also get thrust into that spotlight so much because of how good they are as well. So 2 to look out for, or 3 if you include Epan up front as well, for this Fener side are the wide midfielders and the striker. And to be honest, Domino, you can just look through that Fenerbahce team. Berisha in goal. He's one of, if not the best goalkeeper in the world at the moment. CC22 has come over to Fenerbahce, very, very good player, and Tyrone Ryan at centre back, very, very good player. Moving over to Fama, where do we start? I've seen a signing that I'm very happy with, Domino, because again, someone who made it into our Pro Clubs Weekly Team of the Year is Brecha at centre back, a World Cup winner with Portugal.
Yeah,
it just makes sense for him to come over and join, you know, the quote unquote best team in Portugal.
Yeah,
and the rest of the team just speaks for itself. Talisman, Luka up front, Nayshaw, cameraman, centre attacking midfield, Taziak. Here's the engine. Forged, Furian. Domino, help me out, please help me out.
Yeah, mate, and I've watched actually so much of Famalicao /boys.
Too much.
And too much, and it's getting to the stage where you watch like real life games. You're like, right, I need to work out how Man City do that. I need to work out how they get broken down. And Nayshaw sometimes goes as an unsung hero in that team. The reason being is, I think a cam position, people think it's a lot different in the game where they're the ones that have to make the killer passes. They're the ones that are putting the assist through. Yeah, I disagree in this style of game. It's the option. Nayshaw gives his team an option all the time. He's like the fly half in rugby. If someone picks it up, Nayshaw is within an earshot of a pass, and he gives you an out ball. And when he's got the ball, yes, he does play killer passes, and he is very fluid on the ball. But I think a lot of the work goes through him. And the only other thing I'd say is, if Luca's free, Luca gets the ball. Anytime Luca's free, I'll look at him and say, where is he? I'll look at him free, and the ball goes to him. He's the catalyst to get the team going up the pitch. So they're the two danger men, I think. I mean, the team's full of danger men, but they're the two, in my opinion. If I was Fenerbahce, I would need to shut down that game to make us play better.
Yeah, and to be fair, I will give a big shout out to the goalkeeper as well, Guy Jesus. To be honest, you know, we're talking about Berisha being the best goalkeeper in the world at the moment, skill wise, form wise. Guy Jesus is on his toes. He is on his toes. Two top quality goalkeepers, which means it's probably going to be 0-0. Luckily for us, though, and you guys at home, we've got strikers like Epan and Luca et al. Doing the dirty work for us and hopefully getting us some goals tonight. And Dominic, something I want to touch upon as well, again, something you kind of touched upon yourself, is having Luca up front. You know, we see strikers, especially strikers in the esports Premier, they getting 30, 40, 50 goals a season. It's great. You know, Luca does that every single season. You know, since our inception almost 2 years ago, Domino, I think he's probably hit 40, 50 goals plus a season. You said that when he's free, they give him the ball. I think that is such an underrated tactic, and I'll tell you why. Is because he's got the striker preset, Domino. So in the team, his player is the best person to take a shot. Sometimes, Domino, and I'm guilty of this myself, which is why I don't play esports Premier. It's my only flaw. Sometimes the ball will fall to, you know, left midfielder, right midfielder, centre back, centre mid, and they'll take that shot on because they get that nosebleed. They teams like Fama, they're, despite what position they're in, they'll always try and give it to that man Luca. One, because he's a striker, so you know his stats are going to be the best. But two, and probably arguably more important, is his ability to finish from, it doesn't matter where, you know, 3 yards to 30 yards out, the man is a danger. So it's something I do think goes under the radar a lot. I think regardless of where he is, whether he's 40 yards from goal, 4 yards from goal, they do try and give him that ball. And I think more teams need to do that in the esports Prem, because a lot of teams do have that talisman up front, that world-class player, and obviously Luca falls into that category of world-class player. A lot of teams have got a world or two or three world-class players, but there'll be games that go by when they don't touch the ball for 40 minutes. Fama are not a side who let Luca go 40 minutes without touching that ball. You'll see it tonight. And if they can't get it to Luca, they'll get it to Nayshaw. So again, you know, they're two world-class players. They'll get them the ball. They've got the players like Taziak who can find those passes. You know, he can get you a goal. We've seen it week in, week out. But he knows fine well. Again, a lot of it's to do with the build, but he knows fine well who's going to pick a pass, him or Nayshaw. Who's going to score a goal, him or Luca. I think it's once you've got that maturity, once you've got those players who play for the badge and they know what it's like to win titles, to win games week in, week out, when you start to get that understanding, that's when you get some scary teams. And I think that's where Famalicao are, Poise are as a team. I describe them as scary.
Yeah, mate, you're not wrong. Like, the statement's not wrong. If I was up against them, but again, Poise having the lion's share of like the players. We saw Fenerbahce 2 seasons ago. We don't discount the summer season. We never discount the summer season, but it's more relaxed than your normal season. So the normal season is as competitive as it can be, and with them picking up the points and winning the league, they sometimes go under the radar. There's like the dark horses, but you see them play, and if you look at them on paper and you don't watch Fama, you don't watch Fenerbahce, you take their results from the last 3 seasons, you'll be like, this is probably one of the best teams that play on consistency. Fama rarely go from, they're just efficient. They're just an efficient team to watch and to play. I think Poise Famalicao will have a problem breaking them down. Yeah, I genuinely think they will. And once they get frustrated, I think that's when it drags back to Fenerbahce's game.
Yeah, I agree. And to be fair, I think those of you who watch VPG a lot, especially Esports Premier, watch these streams a lot, Poise have got a habit of starting leagues and tournaments quick. So almost expect them to kind of hit the ground running here, because they know what it takes to do the business early doors. They're often the pace setters, and I think Fenerbahce will know that as well. I do believe that invites are being sent now, so apologies for the delay. We'll make sure we don't miss our 4th and final game, which is the VLG Derby, VLG FG versus VLG One Mind. Again, it's the first day of the season, and it's tossing us games like that, Domino. Long may this continue. Long may this. That's all I have to say.
This is Super Sunday, April. This is Super Monday. I'm not going to lie to you. It's when you look forward to the weekend and you're like, oh my God, these 2 teams are playing against each other. If you're in this space and you see Fenerbahce versus Famalicao and FG versus One Mind, you're like, well, these are all competing for the title. These are not placeholders. These are not mid-card specials. These are all top-tier main event draws.
Agreed.
And they're all playing against each other.
Well, that's kind of how the league works, Dominic. It's kind of how it works. But yeah, for the first day of the season, Aaron and I were going through which games we thought would be best to put on stream, and we were spoiled for choice. So again, when we have a look a little bit later on, hopefully it will be exactly the same, and we can bring you the biggest and the best teams out there. Just a friendly reminder, it is Mondays from 8 p.m, Tuesdays from 8 p.m, and Thursdays from 8 p.m. on this channel, VPG Virtual Pro Gaming, and it will be Pro Clubs Weekly hosting that, whether you like it or not. Go and subscribe to our channel as well. We do pretty similar things also. Yeah, there was a threat of something being sent over. I've not seen it myself, so let me go and check.
Oh, I think an invite has been sent.
Perfect.
On my stream here, April, and it looks like they're loading up now. And if I was Fenerbahce, I would do everything just to unsettle Famalicao. I will use those dark arts, those Mourinho, those Simeone. Yeah, I would use every tool that I've got to make sure we can come out on top. I might actually just message them saying we're playing with a 6'2" centre back. Deal with it, and then not actually be playing with one at all. Just get into headspace, mate. I'm just playing mental games with everyone. I would talk about
mental games. I mean, don't forget when Fenerbahce did win the league in season 10, they finished on equal points.
Yes.
So, there is, whether they like it or not, there is a rivalry there. Even if both teams like each other, which I'm sure they do, obviously, we're gonna make it a rivalry because we need a storyline here. We need a storyline. So two rivals Two rivals. To be fair, they're both title contenders, Domino. That makes them rivals, you know?
Yeah, and that's what we're about, Abel. We're about rivalries.
whether you like it or not. Right, interesting view of the pitch as we get started. Here we go. Poise in the white from right to left. And it is Fenerbahce in the blue kit from left to right. Looks like we've got the game underway straight off the bat. Here we go. It is Famalicao, not Poise. Sorry, I'm going to make that. I don't think it's a mistake. I'm gonna make that faux pas a few times during the course of this stream, so I do apologise. But all you need to know is fuel up on pot noodles. We are not sponsored by pot noodle, by the way. It poses the question though, doesn't it? Berisha for Fenerbahce, early doors. Fenerbahce, expect to see him heavily involved today. Fama win it back. Here is Nayshaw, one of the many danger men for Fama in white. Jinx gives it to Gundogan, gets it back from Epan. Still got it. Gives it to Epan, who's dropping deep. I mean, we've seen him play CDM a few times as well, Domino. I think that's as deep as that man gets. I don't think he plays centre-back or goalkeeper. But I compare him to almost like an old-school Wayne Rooney, Domino.
Oh, mate, yeah. Guy's a player, and Guy does, again, like an old-school Wayne Rooney, mate, everything well.
Drops back into that gap really nicely. CC22 wins it back for Fenerbahce though, who seem happy to keep the ball in their defensive third and looking to build. But Brecha, there's a man on our hot list at the moment. Fantastic centre back. Nayshaw finds Van Dijk, edge of the box, gives it to.
Great
I think
block.
that was. Who was that? I think that was Nougat on the edge of the box. But yeah, as Domino said, blocked by the centre back, but at the expense of a corner. Swings it in. Jinx gets it away. Flick down to Emre, captain and manager, looking to set this game alight. Epan sends his man for a Twix down the line. Gundogan is, that's what Taziak does, Domino. Followed his man very nicely there, gave them some cover, recovered that Twix. Furian.
Like I said, we've just watched the last two games, both really high quality. The pace that this game's played at 8-ball, no one gets time to settle. You don't get time to press. The passing is unbelievable, and it is 1 to 2 touch passing, and these teams both like to play through the thirds.
Yeah. Troyer heads home to Guy Jesus for his first touch of the game. Both teams at the moment cancelling each other out. Probably what we expected from two of these heavyweights. Gun to their head, I think both teams would probably accept a draw at this point in the season. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, nothing lost. But tricky tie for either side. But if one of them can get the 3 points here, what a start. This is the first game, the very first game of the Esports Premier season. Season 12, first season of FC25. You'd imagine most of these players, Domino, are up to level 100. We know it's been a bit of a grind recently. Yeah, that is what the first month of the new game cycle is all about. I did bump into the Poise players during a game of Rush. That was horrific. I have PTSD. Van Dijk gets the shot away. Berisha palms it away, but only as far as Furian. Back sticks. Gives it to Forge. Danger Man, Luca in the box. Lots of touches. Fishing for a penalty maybe. Taziak gives it to Nog into Nayshaw. Looks to stab it over, but Phenomenal and Loves Jinx do the business for Fener, and look at them playing through the thirds. Fenerbahce trying to get past Troy. That's going to be an interesting battle there. The centre back steps across, tries to go in behind. Joe does well though, recycles it for Fenerbahce, and there's a almost like a copy and paste here, Domino. One team tries to attack, the other team breaks them down, and then they'll try and attack, get broken down. It's good to watch. It's definitely one for the purists so far, especially with no goals. But at any time you can get one, and here we are. Gundogan breaks into the box. What a big save that is by Guy Jesus at his near post. We've already seen one of those go in today. Not today. Big strong wrist, big strong save. Gundogan denied early doors. 29 minutes in. Corner for Fenerbahce.
Like you said, 8-ball, two world-class keepers keeping it 0-0.
Can you not, please? Can both of these goalkeepers just not?
Put me an 8-ball in goal.
Yeah. The highest scoring VPG game ever. Right, Guy Jesus will get us restarted from the hands. Goes onto this right hand side. Forge heads it on to Luca, having to drop deep. You know, we spoke about Epan having to drop deep. Luca drops deep when he needs to, and you know, he's 50-60 yards away from goal, and I think Fenerbahce will be more than happy for him to be that far away if they can keep that up. Loves Jinx is having a fantastic game so far, breaking down everything that Fama are throwing at them. Here is Emre. Epan steps in though to help his team out. Get Jesus with the save. The rebound's not going anywhere either. It's ping pong in there. Nogs gets back, goes long and finds his man as well. And here we go, front to back. Luca, men over, tries to take his man on. Just, yeah, stuck to him like glue. Jacko LFC and co. First touch, meaningful touch for him really on that left-hand side. Not had too much going down there. Gundogan might be looking to change that though. Keeps the ball well. 7 minutes till half time. CC22 gives it to Epan. Jacko making the run. Gets it. Beats his man. Just a little bit trigger happy there, don't I?
Yeah, mate, absolutely. The keeper's doing really well. The positioning. And you get in the head.
Headed down. Emre. Whoa, big chance. Parried away by Guy Jesus. Yeah. Called it. Loves Jinx. Wins the foul. I did think that was a foul, yeah. But again, it's Fenerbahce who come closest. Guy Jesus has been a busy boy in this first half. But big chance by Emre's standards there, Domino. I think he'll be disappointed he didn't find the back of the net there. In a game of potentially few chances. Forged to Luca again. 50-60 yards away from goal. Gives it to the cameraman, Nayshaw. Swings it in. What a ball that is. Joe does fantastically well, heads it back to Berisha. Cool, calm and collected. Good bit of defending from him. Berisha goes long, flicked on down the line to Emre, who had that chance earlier on. Troyer wins it though, and that is going to be the first half, Domino. So few and far between are the chances, but chances nonetheless.
Yeah, 8-ball. If you're going to be the two managers of that team, you're going to be... In which dressing room you'd rather be in, you'd either be the Fenerbahce dressing room. I think they played outstanding 8-ball.
Yeah,
and
I think
nullified Fama to the little amount of possession that I've probably seen them have throughout all the games I've watched. They broke them down. If it weren't for the keeper 8-ball, I think they could be 3 down here.
Wow, big statement then. Big statement from Domino, big statement from Fenerbahce. For those of you who don't know how the Esports Premier works, they play their opponents twice over the course of the season, so 50 games in total. And you play those home and away. Okay, so it looks like, I do believe, again, correct me down in the chat if I am wrong, Fenerbahce are at home, so you would consider them to have the home advantage, i.e. the lower ping, the more stable connection. So do bear that in mind, of course. But yeah, that's how that one works. There's a bit of knowledge for you. So Fama again, you know, like Domino said, potentially lucky to still be in this game. I think there's more to come from them, which is good, especially when it's still 0-0. Whereas Fenerbahce maybe will live to rue the chances missed in that first half. As the ball falls to Van Dijk, good block there. Sorry, Dominic.
Yeah, I just think Fama need to start picking the ball up and maybe just settling down slightly. They're getting a lot of space to counter. They're just, I think, going too quickly sometimes. They just need to, once they get the ball, settle down and start playing through the thirds instead of being very, very direct. A little bit what Fenerbahce are doing here, really.
Yeah.
They're settling down once they get their positions.
Yeah. But probing to no effect so far. Jacko again seeing a lot of the ball on this left-hand side. Big step up for this man as well. Played Esports Prem last season in that summer season. Did really well, of course. Now stepping up to play for the famous Fenerbahce. Taziak goes long. Are they going to get any change out of it? They are going to get change out of it. Good one too. Luca having to get the ball back for himself. I wouldn't say he's been serviced very well so far, despite my very passionate speech at the beginning of this game. What do I know? Gundogan goes over the top, looking for Epan and co, and Jacko concedes the free kick, which again, I don't think Famalicao will be too upset about that, because it was just a coming together of two players. And not only did they win the ball back, but also they've got a player now on a booking, do Fenerbahce, so be careful. Restart with the throw on this left-hand side. A lot of this, since I said nothing was coming down this side, a lot of it's coming down this left-hand side. Again, Jacko just needs to be careful now with these 50-50s. That phantom free kick, again, there it is. Luca, 50-60 yards away from goal. Forged. Gives it to Nayshaw. Can he pick a pass? Of course he can. Heads it down to Luca. Love Jinx and him have a battle. It is Fenerbahce Blue that win it. And here we go. Epan's got the ball. 2v1. Waiting for support. Slide rule pass to Emre. Gonzalo does fantastically well.
Gonzalo, please talk to me about defending. That should be studied. Hey, we'll do a breakdown video of that, please.
Two teams cancelling each other out, Domino. It's what we suspected may happen. It's going to take a moment of magic to break this deadlock. If either side want all those 3 points, it's going to have to be something special, I would imagine. Luca. Nayshaw.
Yeah, this is the kind of game, April. This is the kind of game where it needs to be something special. It's going to come from either a bit of brilliance or a mistake, or a bit of both.
I didn't even consider a mistake. And speaking of mistakes, I mean, Berisha did really well there, because I don't think he wanted that 2-yard back pass. He did dig himself out, though, as the best players do. Phenomenal wins the ball back, gives it to Strico, lays it off to Love Jinx. Nog's in there as well, battling away, just getting a bit sloppy. Emre shifts it onto that left foot. It opened up from half a yard there, Domino. Chose to be unselfish, gives it to his striker, but to no avail. Back over to this favoured left-hand side, and back over to Jacko LFC, who will concede a throw-in. With 20 minutes left, Fener win it high up. Emre, skipper, manager, Jacko. Tried to play it down the line. Forge does well, though. We know he's a player who does not scrimp on his defensive work. Nayshaw looking a bit direct, which again is not something we tend to associate with poise. Suggestion that they're not getting desperate, Domino, but you know, they're happy just to chuck stuff in that they don't normally do. Chuck something into the mix. Big switch. Knox, left hand side, taken down nicely by Furian, and keeps the ball as well. Loses man, turn of pace, good play from him, but again, Joe's there, he's had a fantastic game.
Yeah,
Nogs recycles, Taziak, edge of the box, gives it to Luca, he needs half a yard, and unlike, oh here we go, Nashaw's won it high up, but that man Joe, my contender for man of the match. Yeah, Luca, unlike Emre earlier on, wanted half a yard, got half a yard, and went for the shot. Swings it in back post, they've got players there, Forged again, right midfielder, doing the job of right back / right-sided centre back. Maybe not an enjoyable game for that man, having to play so defensively for a right midfielder, but he's there, he's doing it. They've got that disciplined team, have Famalicao, and that is why they have so many titles to their names.
Absolutely, mate.
Nayshaw intercepts well, and he's got Luca making those runs. That is what we call in the business a professional foul.
Mate, I love how they introduced that, because that's exactly what you introduce it for.
It's frustrating.
Virtual 15 minutes left.
Yeah.
You've got a ball going through. All his teammates are thanking him for that yellow card.
Oh yeah, I mean, you might as well. With 10 minutes left, you might as well.
Oh, you've got to do it.
Stopped Nayshaw in his tracks there. That's always good advice to do when you're playing Famalicao. 10 minutes left, Domino. Are we going to see a mistake, or are we going to see a moment of brilliance, or are we going to see two world-class teams cancel each other out and share the spoils? Stay tuned to find out. Gundogan. CC22 slides it through to Epan, who I was going to say just about manages to keep the ball. He does not. Brecha and Forge there. Again, to be fair, Domino, Forged contender for man of the match over on this right-hand side as well. Don't know what happened to the stream there, but we are kind of back. Here we go. Epan. It is buffering and we've missed some kind of action. It's not behaving, is it? Come on, come on. We're almost there. We've got 7 virtual minutes left. You can do it. Let me refresh. Let me refresh. Come on. I don't think it's my side either. Come on, come on, come on.
Do you want me to call it 8 ball?
Oh, it's gone. It's finished. It is finished.
Yeah, I was about to say, we just got the whistles, mate.
Well, we didn't miss anything, so they can have some cheering. I'm not sure which side will be cheering more, Domino, but it's a 0-0, but an enjoyable 0-0, would you say?
That's how I expected the opening games to go 8 ball, and you can see it here in the, again, one of the best leagues there is for competitive pro clubs, where you've got 2 teams. It's the first game of the season. It's still a feeling out process. It's the first competitive games you've got with some new players in your team, under new management maybe. So yeah, there's a lot of factors to consider. Teams want to go out, and I'm in the mindset, I'm going to the game not to lose instead of going to the game to try and win.
Yeah,
it's a different mindset for me. But again, both teams, when it got to the 70th minute, I didn't think they resigned themselves for a draw, but there was not one team putting it on the other to try and get that killer goal. They were happy enough.
I think that's a fair statement, to be honest. And you know, we touched upon it a few times, and do you know what? We actually we didn't say, which I'm disappointed in us for. We didn't actually say we think this is going to be a 0-0. We think this is going to be a 1-0. We were perhaps too optimistic, Domino, because I think a lot of those games, when you get 2 top teams like that, a lot of those games do end up just kind of being for the purists. You know, anyone who knows anything about clubs can see the quality that's on show, but we just don't have the goals. That full on.
No, I agree.
That full on fell into that category. And now we're just hoping that this one doesn't, because it's the final game of the night, of the first game of the season, the first Monday night of the season, and it is FG against One Mind. It is the VLG derby. If you can't work out why it's the VLG derby, just have a little look at the team names. Both sponsored by the same company, VLG. Where do we start with these 2 teams, Domino? One Mind back from a hiatus, a VPG hiatus.
Yep.
They've managed to get the old band back together, and my God, what a band it is. A bit like, to be fair, it's a bit like the game we just watched. They go all the way through, you know, from defense straight through midfield, those wide areas, you know, one of the best cams in the world in DeFreezy, strikers Mirko and Stefinho up front. It's crazy, you know. Even the 2 CDMs,
centre back, mate.
Yeah,
and him in defence, mate.
The two CDMs as well, absolutely massive. Francois, we've just asked for his baller build as well, so keep a lookout for that one. And then on the other hand, Domino, on the other side of your screen, which I'll just get rid of my camera, you can see the reigning, defending champions of the esports premier is the Englishman FG. And again, you know, I think maybe they will. I was going to say they won't mind me saying. Maybe they will mind me saying. I think on paper, One Mind have got they've got the world beaters, but FG are champions for a reason, and I really think they epitomise just, you know, the sum is greater than the whole is greater than the sum, because as a team, these guys just know the score, they know the drill, they've been there, they've done that, and they actually have not just worn the t-shirt, they've won the t-shirt. So it's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be an interesting one. I feel like One Mind have just, it's almost like a wrestler just returning from a hiatus, Domino. They get the pop from the crowd, and all of a sudden FG, who are champions, are like, okay, well great, now I need to deal with, you know, these giants as well as everyone else as well. So there's a lot for them to do.
April, it's always difficult. You see people like when One Mind left the space. One Mind were probably at their pinnacle, playing one of the best football we've ever seen. They were up there, were one of the best teams I've ever seen. Especially that Champions League final when me and you were commentating.
Oh, we're talking a long time ago now. Wow.
Against Real Sociedad, who are another absolute world-beating team. Mm-hmm. That was one of my most favourite, not even games, series to call.
Yeah. It was a two.
And they won it with. And it was like late goals, the drama, unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Once One Mind stepped off the gas, obviously these boys were still knocking around, Freezy was still playing. Once they all come back together, they haven't gone on hiatus. They have still been playing, but they haven't been playing in this team again. I think FG have just been the grafters, mate. They have been the one climbing the ranks, taking names, and slowly moving up to a position where they're a formidable side. It's going to be interesting to see if that new philosophy of FG and the consistency of FG can beat the spectacular names of One Mind.
No, I couldn't put it better myself. Couldn't have put it better myself. Right.
Invites being sent.
Yeah, invites being sent. Let me just get the correct stream up. But yeah, they're the teams, boys and girls. To be honest, you don't even really need us here to call that because it does what it says on the tin. Two very, very good sides playing some very, very good football, and they're doing it for your viewing pleasure. We'll be here as well because we have to against your will. So here we go. The VLG derby kicks off for us right now. Last game of the night, FG versus One Mind. One Mind in the black from right to left, and FG from England.
And One Mind just coming off a tournament win, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so they won the Pro Series, which is the European Pro Series, which is the LAN qualifiers, the European LAN, so the one that everyone's invited to. Mm-hmm. That was last Wednesday, so they are on a high at the moment. Down the line, flicked on nicely. Here we go. Bit of space over on this right hand side. DeFreezy chucks it into the back post. Waddy comes out, claims it for his first touch of the season, and it's a good one.
Yeah, see, DeFreezy, the problem that they're going to find is there's hardly any people play like DeFreezy. If you give people a lot of time, they'll find a killer ball. DeFreezy's one or the other. You can play it on the first time. If you let him stagnate on the ball, he will kill you with that as well. He's just a very, very good cam.
They've moved him up to cam, having played a lot of his club's football recently in CDM, and I just think it gives him the freedom with those two behind him, with Agus and Antonio Mertz in behind him. That's a dangerous three-man midfield, and to be quite frank, I don't think there's many better around. Mm-hmm. So, you know what, FG they've got their work cut out here, but they're champions for a reason.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be an interesting spectacle. Do stay with us till the end. Jack 7 into the box. The strike comes across. It is blocked. It will be a corner to FG. If they can get an early goal here and just force One Mind into having to come out and play, open this game up a little bit. We expected the cross. It was a power shot in the end.
Love that.
Stung the palms of Anonym in the One Mind goal. And just an early reminder, Domino, that FG have not come here to respect this team on paper that One Mind have put together. They have come here to claim the spoils themselves. Bit of hustle and bustle at that back post. Dean Smith, though, takes it down nicely.
Very good.
Keeps the ball alive for FG. Swings it into the back post. A Scorpion again for the second time in quick succession. Gets the clearance in. DeFreezy out to this right-hand side. Mirko picks it up very, very long way away from home for him, the striker. DeFreezy again. Dilvix gets turned by Stefanio. Again, everywhere you look, both sides, it's just quality players for days. Mm-hmm. Dean Smith back there doing his defensive duties as FG move the ball through the thirds very nicely, very quickly, effectively. Baliance with hardly had time to touch upon him. One of the best cams around. Mickelback, one of the best centre-backs around. Domino, wherever you look, VLG quite clearly know how to pick a team.
Yeah, mate, unbelievable. What coops they've got.
Leave some for the rest of us, eh? Stepping across Animal and Co. for FG. Lionz, bit of space in the centre midfield, gives it to Porridge, their skipper. Sam Cooper, good player that man as well, but a Scorpion. Steps on the gas. Lionz has picked up overlap on this left hand side, cuts it back onto the right foot, tries to swing it in, it is blocked, they go long, looking for Stefanio, but yeah, once again FG.
I like what FG are doing, 8-ball. They're getting it wide and they're literally thumping it into the box. One time they don't do that, they're going to confuse the opposition by cutting inside because they're going to expect it. I think it's your blatant bait and switch that they're trying here. I think next time they go in the wing, watch them try and cut inside and make something happen. If they start doing that, it's a very, very good tactic.
Animal does well there. Has to force to dribble back towards his own goal. But does well. Mickelback goes long. Again, think about the amount of goals that man scored last season. A hat-trick on the last stream of the season. I think he ended up on about 23 or 24 goals from centre-back in a 50-game season. Let that sink in. So any corners that FG get, keep a lookout for that man. A Scorpion is having a good game. Plays it down the line. Looks like Mirko on that right-hand side. Cuts back inside. 34 minutes gone. Still goalless. Waiting for that first goal of the Esports Premier tonight. Who is going to get it? Lionz loses man nicely. Overlap on this right-hand side. Dilvix gives it to Dean Smith. Cuts inside. Goes for the shot early doors. I think it just caught Anonym a little bit off guard. He did well to parry it, but I mean, the quite clearly the world-class goalkeeper I thought it would have been catchable, but no need to panic. His teammates dig him out. But they do give the ball away again, and I would say this one's been very 50-50 so far, Domino.
Yeah, look, you look at it on paper. I mean, I would even say on paper, like FG won the last league, so we can't even see on paper. Name for name, One Mind do have the bigger stars here. But if you're just jumping in and you don't know anything about the pro community and you don't know anything about the names, you would think and you would call this a 50-50 game because that's what it is. And if anything 8-ball, I think FG might be shading it.
Yeah, I think that's a fair analysis. Once again, just a quick reminder that there are home and away ties in this league. I'm just trying to work out who is at home. It looks like it might be the Englishman, FG, so they would technically have the better ping, so do bear that in mind as well. That is something we do need to factor into these games.
Of course.
As much as we don't like ping, we do need to respect it, and speaking of respect, Lionz has earned the respect of a Scorpion there as he turns him on a sixpence. Dilvix flicks it through. Bit of space, and very, very close to half-time here. Headed out. But it's going to come straight back. Is there time to get it back in? No, there is not. 0-0 at half-time, Domino. Talk to me. What are your thoughts on that first 45?
Yeah, again, I think it's replica of Fenerbahce vs Fama. It's a very conservative style of play. There's not a team that's lumping it forward and trying to go all out and get the goal. Both teams are looking like not lose instead of win. But it's what you expect. Like, there's no discredit to each of the teams. They're playing high-level opposition. They need to watch their P's and Q's. I wouldn't expect teams to go out there all guns blazing and try and get the goal early off. It is what we're seeing here. We're dealing with the highest level of professional clubs. There's not going to be a lapse in concentration here. So both teams are actually doing exactly what they need to. And again, it's one for the purists because it's a chess match to see who can break the other down.
To be honest, Don, I think with this league in particular, I often think you either get one or the other. You get an absolute barnstormer, or you get something for the purists. Very rarely is it anywhere in between. And to be fair, sometimes that comes down to halves as well. So don't write this one off just yet, but very much one for the purists so far. 45 minutes left of the game. 45 minutes left of the night. Our fourth and final game, the VLG Derby Esports Premier. Let's see how this one finishes. Housekeeping again, FG from right to left in the white, last season's champions. playing. What should we call them? The returning One Mind. I mean, everyone knows who One Mind is in the club's community, but you know they've been on that hiatus from VPG for a few seasons. They are back to spoil the party here. And speaking of spoiling the party, Dean Smith is just trying to waltz his way through that whole One Mind, that star-studded One Mind side. Once again, to no avail. We are begging for a goal on this stream right now. FG doing everything they can, to be fair. Stabs it into the back post. Unfortunately for us, so is A Scorpion doing everything he can to prevent them from scoring. Headed down, Sam Cooper, edge of the box, Lionz. Good one-touch football from FG. Dean Smith was having a great game. Keaton swings it in. It is repelled, and One Mind through DeFries are able to take it down. Jew on this right-hand side. Mirko fakes going down the right, comes back inside. One Mind happy just to keep the ball for a little bit, which, you know, I don't think they've really managed to do for a sustained period of time so far. FG have done well to keep that man off the ball, DeFries. But the longer he has it like now, the more likely it is something dangerous will happen, and Nickelback steps in at the nick of time.
People are going to think that is very simple. He drew 2 or 3 men onto him, pulled the team back, and then cut the lines with the ball. Like, if you're looking at that normally, it's just very, very simple. If you break that down, 8-ball, like, that's how you start attacks. Unbelievable by that man.
Jack down the line to Lionz. Like, he steps across nicely. I think this game's just opening up a little bit now. Almost the complete opposite of what we saw earlier on, when I think both sides decided to shut up shop and say, do you know what, we'll share the spoils here. We'll go again in the second game. I think both sides have maybe had a bit of a telling off at half-time. FG more, let's, you know, we can do this. We've been the better side. Let's go for it. And One Mind, maybe DeFries putting a rocket up them. But both sides coming out with a new lease of life here. And I think a goal is likely with this man, DeFries, blocked. It's going to be a corner. It is screaming out for a goal, is this game. It deserves one as well. Interesting positioning from Waddy. It's gone over him. Keating's there, though, to dig his goalkeeper out. Good one-touch football from FG, but good press equally from One Mind. Switches play.
I think One Mind is starting to get on top here, 8-ball.
Yeah, absolutely. They are relentless at the moment. Like I said, I think they had a telling off at half-time. Stefano trying to break through there, a bit like Dean Smith earlier on in this half. But likewise, to no avail. And they'll recycle from the back into striker's feet. Stefano, DeFries, who's having a growing presence in this game, which is quite worrying for FG as we approach the last 20 minutes of this game. And it might be worth just saying in the ear of one of those CDMs for FG, just go and keep a lid on him. You've got 20 minutes left. Dilvix, his opposite numbers having to drop so deep just to touch the ball, is the way that this second half is panning out. Waddy goes long, good with his feet, good from the hands as well as Waddy. Saw a lot of that last season. Good press. He's not gonna reap the rewards from it, Don. I didn't see too much in it myself.
Nah, neither did I. Well, neither did I. I think he done everything right there. Yeah, but he got away with one, mate. Professional.
Sometimes you need that luck. What can One Mind do with that bit of luck? DeFries into Stefano's feet. Loads of room here for the blue shirts of One Mind. Really starting to turn the screw in this second half, but nothing to show for it so far. 14 minutes left. Stefano. DeFries is just finding all kinds of spaces. Back post. Jew heads it down. Mickle back there again. Phenomenal play, but does give it away. The on-rushing One Mind player. They live to fight another day, though. Dilvix and FG have got players forward here. A long diagonal. It's not going to be kept in, though, but a bit of field position. You know, when you're a bit up against it, that's not always a bad thing. And player on a book in there, Domino. Thought he was going to get pulled back, and they've actually got a throw-in out of it.
Yeah, it's impressive. It's what they needed.
Matching that One Mind luck a few minutes ago. It is the skipper who's on a booking. Porridge. DeFries, like I said, picking up in all kinds of areas. Right back this time, right midfield. Makes a right mess of it. FG able to try and get something cooking. It's not been their half. This, we spoke about home advantage. We do think they've got it in this game, but they're not turning the screw at all in this second half. And to be honest, it may be a case of shutting up shop themselves and taking a point here. However, Porridge has got it on the edge of the box, loses his man nicely, gets to the byline, cuts it across. Whoa, Lighty, you lucky boy. The animation didn't do him any favours there, Domino, but it's just gone past that post. Swings it in. Here we go. I imagine Nickelback would be the intended target. My God, what an attempt that is. 30 yards out. It wouldn't have counted anyway, but my God, the technique on that, Domino. That would have been a way to get our first goal of the stream of the esports premiere.
Oh, mate, I was shouting Scholesy here.
Yeah, that's how people can aid you with whatever play you shout from the edge of the box on the volley. Domino just aged himself greatly there. We've got 3 minutes left. Like I said, I've been saying for the last 45, 50 minutes, this game is screaming out for a goal. FG with a tiny bit of 5-10 minute spell of possession there, which was good for them. It looks like they've got a little bit of belief back from that. But time is not on our side, Domino. I mean, I genuinely mean our side up here, because we're running out of time for a goal. It's all we want to see. Porridge to Dean Smith, quiet second half from him. Sam Cooper, quiet game from him. We'll be looking to change that down the line to Bailey Itz. There's a man who can change a game. Gets to the byline, swings it in, Anonym, spoiling everyone's fun, and that is all she wrote. Domino, that is time. To be honest, I genuinely think, and I know a lot of people won't necessarily understand what I'm saying when I say this. It was a good advert for pro clubs, and it was a very good advert for the VPG Esports Premier. Did we get the goals? No, we didn't. Is that sad? Yes, it is. Am I going to go and cry about it later? Yes, I am.
Probably.
However, would I rather watch that than some drop-ins or some divisions? Yes. Yes, I would.
Right. Absolutely. Well, look, there's no getting away. We're going to have to give you the facts. There was 2 dead rubbers, as in scorelines.
It's scorelines, yes. Scorelines.
Yeah, it was 0-0 on each of the games we played, but when you get to this level, the highest level that you can possibly compete at in clubs, it tends to happen. 2 great teams will cancel each other out. And what we saw on tonight was actually a display of just evenly matched teams doing the same. Both doing what they need to do in the first games of the season, able to get a point. And each of them, every 4 team there, wouldn't have minded the point. If you give them that at the start of the season with the opposition they're playing, they would take that.
Yeah, do you know what? I genuinely think that perhaps we should have looked at that when we were picking the games. That we would have picked 4 teams who I genuinely think would be happy with a point at this stage of the season. I think, once we start to get into the business end, or even, they say don't look at a league table until it's 10 games in. Mm-hmm. From that 10 game point, when teams start dropping points or start motoring away, or have a good run of games or in good or bad form, then yes, I think that's when things start to open up. But nobody wants to turn up on that first night, pick up a loss, especially a loss to, we've seen 4 teams tonight. Those 4 teams are going to be in the top 8 at the end of the season. Okay, yeah. So they're going to be there or thereabouts. They are not the kind of teams that you want to drop points to at this stage in the season.
No.
Did the games play out like that?
No. I would say they did. Yeah, I would say they did. With all 4 teams, exactly like you said there, that they're 6-point games. They are. There's no 2 ways about it. They're all 6-point games. They're the teams that you're competing with, not only for bragging rights, but who's going to be end up there as a season. You take the 0-0s. I don't think they necessarily played like it, but they weren't in the last couple of minutes being on top of a team. They were very conservative in their play, and look, they've done what they need to do, and they got a good point. Each team can be happy, go home. We're just the ones that are sat out here, April, with 0 goals.
I was going to say, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I don't think any of those 4 teams will be unhappy with that. You know, we don't know what they did in their other game. They played 2 games a night, if you didn't know. So we don't know what they did with those other games. You know, if they picked up a win in there, 4 points from the first night, having played one of these big hitters in the first 2 games of the season, they're probably going to be happy. But yeah, I genuinely am going to have a little bit of a cry later on tonight.
Sounds about right.
I genuinely think that brings us on to a good part of the show where we can then talk about what's happening with the rest of the week. So Tuesday, tomorrow, live from 8 o'clock once again, the show is going to look a lot like this. We're going to have a UK Premier game. We're going to have a cup game, which I do believe is the Esports Cup, which is free for everybody, and it's a cash prize. Mr. Delosa put his hand in his pocket. And then 2 Esports Premier games to finish off the night. So again, we'll be on from 8 till circa 10 o'clock. Monday, Tuesday and Thursday. Thursday you get a double dosage of the UK Premier. That gave us 4 goals, guys. So 4 goals in one game. You know, we decided this at the beginning of the season, but now I'm glad we did. So yeah, do stick around and do make sure you tune in for those nights as well. Domino, I'll let you say your piece before we sign off for the night.
Oh, 8 ball. It's to be fair, it's not even about the teams. It's not about each game that we watch. It's just glad to be back, guys. Glad to be back with some competitive action knocking around. The chats are popping off. The buzz is there around. And like I said, people have got something to work towards with the LAN events happening. So yeah, 8 ball. I'm glad to be back in the chair. Glad to be back on the stream with you. We do it again tomorrow, and we do it again for the next 7 weeks, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, the seasons are 7 to 8 weeks long, so we're
get used to it, enjoy it.
Yeah, we've been pinned down to those 7-week commitments, so yeah, do bear with us for those 7 weeks. Like I said, do make sure you subscribe to this VPG channel, but also to Pro Clubs Weekly as well. Both channels doing lots for the clubs community. If clubs is your bag, then they're the 2 channels you want to follow. Other than that, guys, I'll see you in less than 24 hours.
Yeah, take this bow tie off, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm absolutely sweltering.
Yeah, get this on camera. All right.
Cheerio, guys. Cheerio.